The group, smile your way home. Greetings from home, dear ones. You are such magical beings. We come to you this day to help remind you of who you truly are, bringing the essence of creator beings here to earth. Yes, you look to the heavens and put us on a pedestal. You say that we are angels from the other side of the veil. But what you don't understand is that we honor you in the same way, for we are honored to be in your presence. You are creator beings, each and every one of you. But that also means you are responsible for what is in your field. It is not always easy for humans accept, because you have an ego you must wrestle with. You must balance the ego in different ways, to find out how it can work for you. Imagine that the creation machine sits on your shoulders. And you can manifest anything that you can balance between the head and the heart. The creation machine. Let's first talk about the creation machine itself, how it works, and how you can choose very carefully what you put in it. It's as if there is a basket on top that you stack these creations into. You try to manifest all these things very quickly in your world. But no matter which one is on top, those that manifest first are ones mixed with emotions. The greatest creation emotions that you have, dear ones, are fear and anger. These negative emotions can be used against you and quite often are. How does it resonate with your heart? What do you wish to see in the world? Yes, there is always something you can't quite figure out. You must balance the energy and figure out what works for you. Although it's quite simple, it is not that easy. There are times when you watch television or read the news, and it stirs your heart. Does it feed you in some way, or does it make you angry? Or does it frustrate you, because you see the world going in a direction that does not support your belief systems? Dear ones, choose very carefully what you expose yourself to over and again. It's amazing what you can do with this, if you are aware that you are creator beings in every aspect. The vagus nerve. Often we have spoken about the vagus nerve, which runs down behind your ears and travels through many parts of your body. It is half of your autonomic nervous system, and it can be exercised like a muscle. You can build it through meditation, prayer, or through any of the aspects that you use to bring yourself into a centered being. This allows your spirit to clearly go through your bodysuit and interact with the world. That is so beautiful to watch from this side of the veil. Dear ones, you are very magical beings who have blinders on. It is very difficult for you to see who you truly are, but we see you. So, what happens when you balance your head and your heart? When you feel something really wonderful, your vagus nerve lights up in that energy. It radiates a signal out into the universe, and like energy returns to all vibrations that go out. And that's why you also must be careful about what you say. Remember, the universe has only one answer for everything asked of it. And so it is. It always answers yes no matter what you ask of it, because it returns that vibration. The universe is at your beck and call. The universe creates what creator beings ask for. Although it may sound very simple, some experience quite the opposite of that. With the open portals, stargates, and recent timeline crosses, you now have more control than ever before. Planet Earth is resetting herself, and so can all of humanity. Create something magical. You can step into fear and anger, or you can step into joy. So, how does one consciously send signals into the universe? How does one create something magical? There's actually a very simple way, but humans do love complexity. We will try to complicate it just enough for you to grasp. When you smile really big, your vagus nerve lights up. You can even feel it right behind the ears going down into your digestive system, your heart vibrating into all the different areas that the vagus nerve covers. As this happens, internet vibrates a signal into the universe. Have you ever noticed when someone smiles or laughs really big, that you also laugh? It's a natural reaction to those vibrations sent out into the universe. So, if you consciously remember, you can create your world with a smile. Probably the most important aspect of all of this is to create your world, as you walk into it. Now, we know that sometimes you'd like to find the path of least resistance, the perfect next step. But that is difficult when you overthink things. Oh, we love it when you do that. And we also love it when you balance your ego, for in actuality you know how it works. Finding that balance is part of your job, part of what you came to planet Earth to do. And you're doing better than you can possibly imagine. New opportunities. Create your world first through a smile. Before you step into your car, or on the train to go to work, remember to smile really big. Look at yourself in the mirror and smile. You'll feel it behind your ears in the vagus nerve as it starts to work its way into your body, and you'll carry it forward. Now let's say you get to work, and there are all kinds of problems that you have to deal with. Perhaps people are even angry or frustrated with you. Well, you can also change that energy with a smile. And this sets up the possibility for you to step further into the world around you. Yes, that's all it takes, dear ones. You now have more opportunities to create in front of you than ever before. And yes, there are many who are aware of that. Along with these opportunities are the huge advances in technology that you are seeing, i.e., quantum computing. And so on. Are you worried about it? Well, if so, then turn it off. It's really just that simple. It cannot control you unless you choose for it to, because you are creative beings. The reality is, dear ones, you are the greatest angels that have ever lived. And what we mean by that is actually very simple. You have experienced home time, and again. You've created things in your world all around you. The reality is that you create your next step just before your foot hits the ground. Stepping forward on your path. While you are looking for your path of least resistance, keep in mind that sometimes you put that resistance there for a reason. If you can remember that reason, then you can understand. And you'll realize, oh, here's an interesting possibility that I have. It's then that you will have an entirely different perspective from which to watch the world go by. Take a breath, dear ones. Anchor that light, smile, and feel the vagus nerve moving throughout your being. Feel the light coming in through the very top of your head, working its way through your vagus nerve all the way down your body, into your legs and feet. Feel the roots growing from your feet into the ground itself and Mother Earth, nurturing every part of you. It's a harmony that you have earned in every right. So, with every breath you take, know that you are creating the world around you. It is the answer that the universe will give you every single time. As you step forward, there are many decisions you will make about what your world looks like in the future. Just know that you already have many of these answers if you shut the brain off from overthinking. As we've mentioned, you have a bodysuit. The bodysuit has one brain in it, you have another. Humans are basically beings with two separate brains. No, we are not talking about the different hemispheres of the brain. We are talking about the fast, automatic brain that's in the bodysuit and your conscious brain which weighs things out. And many times you can be controlled by repeated exposure to the bodysuit's automatic brain. Act before you react. There is no good and bad if you haven't figured that out yet. But often the bodysuit's brain can be exposing you to things that you do not wish to carry. So, what we tell you is before you react and first act. Take a breath. Run things through your conscious brain and try to bring in as much information as you can. Step back from your own belief systems for a while. Look at the world around you and then make those choices for yourself. And that will change your world. You are magical creator beings who have a blindfold on. The veil cannot keep you from knowing that, but it will blind you. You won't even see your own creations until they are right upon you. Suddenly you turn around to look behind you at your past, and even with all the struggles say, oh, I have created a pretty nice life for myself here. There's another aspect that we wish to speak of, healing. Because many of you are empaths. But you've come in with weak and fragile boundary system so that you could do your work. You can feel other people very quickly and see things that others cannot. Although that is very beautiful, sometimes it is also very difficult for you, because you don't always know where your boundaries are. You can even draw in the master manipulator, often without realizing what's happening. But know that you're in charge of your world, more so than you understand. Remembering who you truly are. You are the greatest angels that have ever lived. And as you start to remember your angelic presence, that part of you that belongs at home, you can see you've taken off your wings to play a game of pretending to be human. But if you stop for just a moment, you step above all of it. Many things are happening on your planet right now. You have war, and many new technologies sweeping over your planet. There are all sorts of things that will need massive adjustments. But if you remember who you are when you're home, you let your spirit shine through the bodysuit. Then you create the world that you hope to create, with the highest potential for you. We are cheering you on from the other side of the veil. Your world is getting smaller every day. You are growing. Although we know you don't always see it. And when you look at one another, sometimes you judge each other. Well, that is common experience for those who are finite. Your infinite spirit. The reality is that your spirit is infinite. You've been to Earth so many times, you've played so many different roles. If we could only show you those, you would laugh at the very things you are calling difficulties right now. You will make it through, dear ones, we promise you that. Your greatness is starting to surface in new ways. We watch and applaud you from this side of the veil. We try to encourage you to take those steps and create that path, even with the challenges that it has upon it. So, just breathe and smile for a moment. Activate that beautiful vagus nerve and feel your vibration flowing into the universe around you right now. If you run that energy through you, you will heal yourselves not only of physical ailments, but also of emotional ailments. As you send this world into the next level, you will not see those steps until you turn around and look behind you. It's only then that you will see what you've truly created you. We applaud you from this side of the veil, dear ones, for having the courage to take off your wings, and for coming to Earth to pretend to be human and play a finite game in these physical bodies. As you put things into your creation machine, remember those with the highest emotion immediately go to the top. So, we ask you to make it love. Fall in love with your creations, fall in love with your dreams. Dream the highest dream that you can, and let your heart vibrate. You are magical beings, each and every one of you. It is our job only to hold the mirror up in front of you, so that you can start to remember who you truly are. We applaud you, dear ones. You are the magicians on the game board. We hope to help you remember your magic, to step into it and create a much higher world. The world where all the anger, frustration, and fear can't simply flow through you without sticking to you. Well done, dear ones. And with that, it is with the greatest of honor that we ask you to treat each other with respect. Nurture one another, and open those doors at every opportunity. Play well together, and don't forget to smile. It is with the greatest of honor that we thank you for taking and holding your own power. We are the group of 9 and we love you dearly. Espavo. Master Babaji, the time that was promised to you. JJK, what's going on with the weather? There are now more and more sudden thunderstorms that break out of nowhere, or lightning. That seems strange, even threatening. Earthquakes, storms, wildfires, floods and hail here or volcanic eruptions, tsunamis, and wildfires in other latitudes complete the spectrum of natural phenomena that are rather unusual in terms of frequency and force. Years ago, when I read Dr. Rosa Lieberthal's particularly worthwhile book Planet Earth, Weapon of War 10, a light went on for me are the current weather and climate phenomena of natural or unnatural origin. Babaji, the Earth is renewing itself. Man is being reborn. The wake-up call has been given, all changes are underway. The current light and weather phenomena have 2 causes. 1. The fact that the Earth renews itself and removes everything bad from itself, and 2. The fact that the dark weather makers are at work. This means that the change and realignment of the planet is subject to both a light and delightful dynamic, and is caused by both light and dark forces. In the end, both poles contribute to the success of the ascension and the awakening of humanity. Forces that try by all means to keep humanity away from its natural, and now emerging longing for unity, achieve the exact opposite through their hasty and massive actions. Confronting humanity with negative events on a permanent basis always leads to people becoming resistant and being thrown back on themselves. Faith in institutions and people is lost. Liberation and self-knowledge always require certain prerequisites, and these are present in all areas. Change without detours. While more and more people allow themselves to be touched by the divine light from the central sun, the forces of the cold light generate more and more pressure, and pressure always generates counter-pressure. This means, the more massive the manipulations, the easier it becomes for the increasingly enlightened people to distinguish between truth and untruth. They quickly get going, and they reflect on their own power and strength. What we are seeing on Earth today is a change without detours. JJK, that means the destructive forces are just as important for change as the forces of light. Babaji, their destructive rage means that what must be destroyed in order to create something good is destroyed at an unimaginable speed. The systems that have worked so far are dissolving, and the dystopian plans are being rejected by people. The forces of cold light are in a dilemma. This creates panic and leads to hasty actions which accelerate both decline and ascension. What is necessary for ascension, and what lessons are still necessary for the individual will happen. Be assured. The destroyers ultimately destroy themselves and, through their excesses, help those who are ready for change to gain freedom. In this way, those who create evil ultimately serve the good. That is what we need to see, and that answers the question about the meaning of the temporal phenomena you mentioned at the beginning. Is weather manipulation real? JJK, so the weather manipulation is real. Babaji, a fact that initially destabilizes the electromagnetic field of the planet. However, the overall change is accelerated because a lot of evil and negative karma can be redeemed in a very short time. The synergy of liberation is necessary to achieve the shift. All weather manipulation, no matter how much it challenges and affects the individual, increases the energy needed for ascension. From a higher perspective, the spiritual development of humanity is accelerated by artificial interventions in the Earth's atmosphere. The forces of cold light thus achieve the opposite of what they want to achieve. Humanity is awakening on a scale previously unimaginable, and beyond the control of those forces that oppose it. That is what is happening now, and it is happening with great speed and dynamism. This is the fact you should focus on when energetic or physical storm clouds are gathering, and when your mood becomes dark. JJK, so the dark forces serve the light change. Does so much suffering have to happen for that? Why still so much suffering? Babaji, every discharge serves to clarify. This also applies to unnaturally induced discharges. The point is that these strange weather phenomena are redeeming the unfavorable karma of many timelines. Like a time lapse, entire eras are being healed, and contemporary history, as a whole, is being raised to a high vibrational level. Low vibration fields are dissolving. And this means that the people currently embodied can breathe freely, think freely, and feel free. The slavery of humanity ends through a new, free and holistic perception of the individual. Human consciousness is being recalibrated and aligned with what is real. The suffering that is showing itself today is the result of unresolved issues, and not the result of new karma. Anyone who does serious transformation work knows what it feels like to go through processes. And although stored pain does not always have to be overcome, sometimes it is unavoidable. Then, if the soul is to be helped to grow, it is necessary to go through pain one last time in order to transform it. Please look at current events from this perspective, and you will always be able to make the right assessments. What is important is that the unnatural weather phenomena and the global climate campaign are causing more and more people to ask the right questions. People would be easy to win over if they were given their own freedom of action. That has worked well so far. However, the window of opportunity for manipulative intervention is closing. And there is a certain urgency among the destructive entities. They put everything on the line, and in the end they lose everything. The light-filled intervention and the lightless attacks are only two sides of the same coin, because ultimately both ensure a speedy transition of the earth into the light, and the return of people to God. JJK, so it will happen quite quickly now that we find ourselves on 5D? Babaji, as quickly as time can be imposed on the now. In the end everything is good, in the end the light wins, in the end love manifests itself in all human hearts, and we are getting closer to this end at lightning speed. The bottom line, so we have reached the end of this message, and the essence of this book. Blessed are you who have followed these lines carefully, who seek the light within yourself and who see the life outside of you as a lesson, a miracle, a gift, a dream to be lived. What you are told about change has the value of a good or not so good story, depending on the narrative. But what the change really is, you only experience within yourself. Deep in your heart you remember the time before birth. You remember the moment when your life was revealed to you, and the end of this time was promised. Everything will be for good. I love you infinitely. Babaji. Anchoring divine power. Blessed being, these powerful times are what you have prepared for. And yet the work is the same. Your inner alignment creates a new outer alignment. Saving the world is not on your shoulders. You merely continue to align your earthly self into the divinity you always are. Becoming powerful Aryan has been focusing us into the power of our awareness, and our subtle bridge so that we are using the vast invisible energy that builds worlds. Your subtle bridge begins your work, so unity becomes more understood through the wisdom of experience. When you experience yourself as more unified, you experience the world as more connected to you, and through you. It is through you that the new forms. Perceiving divinity in order to create the new, your subtle bridge allows it through your heart and mind. It is your open, peaceful state that allows new perspective to flow to you. This comes from the sacred connection of all life, where potential resides. Understanding your sacred connection values your uniqueness. It teaches you connection to life. It allows new perspective to flow. Anchoring divinity, this is your divine gift to life, just as it is your divine gift from life. The creative force is the value of the density of linearity. Change is constant in this density. Embrace it, and you flow gracefully with life. Release the addictions that hold you in fear of change, that cloud you from the power of connection. And most importantly, that belie your sacredness. Release addiction to collective approval and outside power over your creative flow. Release addiction to expectations that limit your new perspective feeling out of reach. Release addiction to human being separate from divine. You are now, have always been, and will always be divine. Perceive it in the potentials that support evolution of new potentials. Love yourself boldly. Love follows. sorceryofflight.com. The other videos are in the English video playlist. Help me spread the light. Click like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.